Guess what time it is? Course selection time.
Let's do it, people. We got a lot to talk about.
I'm Miss Morris.
Miss Frawley.
We are two of the art teachers at Westlake High School, and we wanted to spend some time showing you guys our Westlake Arts website and going over all of your course selection. So, should we start with 9th grade courses very quickly?
Sure, we could do that.
Okay, so if you check out our Westlake Art websites, we have all of our courses here. If you are an incoming freshman, we have our 3 kind of courses that you can take. Ms. Frawley, do you want to go ahead and take the lead with 21st Century Art and Design?
Sure. Okay, so for a requirement for 9th grade, you need a full year core course. Okay, so in the arts, in the visual arts, it's either 21st Century Art and Design or it's studio art. I tend to teach all the 21st century, and Ms. Morris does a lot of the studio. But they're very different. But it is required that you pass that if you're not in band or chorus. So as far as the design course goes, in design, we're talking about brainstorming, innovation. We're talking about getting our ideas out of our head and onto the paper. There's all types of things that we cover, anything related to design, from foundational design to architectural design, interior design, product design, and throughout this whole process, graphic designs incorporated. So there's a lot to think about. At times we go into 3-dimensional modeling, creating our ideas into like a prototype. Okay, so think about Shark Tank. Think about coming up with this great innovation or invention, and what can you come up with? So if you're an idea person, you like to go through the process, working on a team, coming up with your best solutions to problems you might have. Design's a place for you. So that's a quick snapshot. I mean, there's so much more that goes into it. So you can look like us on the website and see some of the projects we do, or always reach out to me if you want to know more.
And for both 21st Century Art and Design and Studio Art, they are mostly 9th grade classes, but we do often now have some 10th graders and some even 11th graders, especially taking the 21st Century Art and Design.
So that could go 9th through 12th.
Exactly. So studio art is, I want to say, more typically a 9th grade course, but same thing. I have had students take it in 10th and 11th grade. Same idea. It's one of the 9th grade electives. So it's really more of a broad introduction to the arts. So one big difference between studio art and 21st century design that I could think of is materials. So in studio art, we really do a broad introduction to materials and to the elements of art and principles of design. So we talk about color pencil and color mixing and value, and we do some painting, we do some mixed media, we do stop motion, some photography. So instead of really focusing on, like in 21st century design, your design concepts, studio art's way more of a broad introduction to all of these courses. One thing that both courses have together is this back kind of history of the elements of art and the principles of design, and also art history. We both try to incorporate that into our class.
I just want to add to that. So for studio, there's a lot of techniques. So how do you use these materials, and a lot of demonstration that goes on in that. So it's not only understanding how to use materials, but just how to bring it all together and bring your ideas and those materials together.
Well said, Ms. Frawley.
Thank you.
Very well said. So these are beautiful. Some of our projects from the past. So you can kind of just see it's a very big, broad amount of supplies used. Same thing, there is some collaborative work, but most of the work is more independent. And there's a couple of little stop motion videos on here I definitely would recommend checking out. Okay, so
that's pretty good.
I think we're good. So let's go ahead and talk about design principles for engineering, since that is a sequence class for our 21st century design.
Hi, this is Mrs. Abate. I'm the media arts teacher. I teach in the media lab. I have a lab filled with 22 Apple computers an anchor desk, a giant green screen, and tons of equipment that are available for you to use in a variety of different courses. So I teach broadcast, I teach media video, I teach digital design, I teach sometimes photography, I teach design for engineering. Those are all courses that move through the Media Lab. In digital design, we've sort of combined graphic design and digital imaging. So with that idea, you guys are using apps and websites and all YouTube and all different kinds of social media. You play video games. And in this class, I will give you an idea of what it feels like to design elements for some of those things. We use Photoshop, so you'll have an idea of how Photoshop is used. We'll use Illustrator so that you can create logos and graphic designs. We use Adobe XD, which is an application that allows you to create an app for a phone or create a cool interactive website. And we use Animate to create animations that can be broadcast on television, on the internet, and all different places. We have digital cameras, digital video cameras, drawing tablets, scanners, and amazing computers that are current and industry standard and state of the art. And if you scroll through the website, you'll see a few examples of projects that have been done before: graphic design, digital imaging, poster design, infographics, all different kinds of things that you can kind of narrow down and focus in on. Another class I teach is media video. In our media video class, we have the opportunity to learn how to create films. I'll teach you how to shoot good video, how to use different editing software. We have iMovie, we have Final Cut, we have Adobe Premiere. You'll get a variety of topics. We have a bunch of competitions we participate in, and you'll learn how to produce an entire film. We've had some students win awards, and some examples of some great films are here on our website, all different types of topics. We also have our own YouTube channel called Westlake Media Arts, and I strongly encourage you to follow us on YouTube. There are about 500 or 600 different videos that students have created. Once you've taken media video, you have the opportunity to take broadcast. The difference between media video and broadcast is in media video, you're creating films, and in broadcast, you're reporting the news. We have an anchor desk and a green screen in the back of the room. We have a teleprompter. We do man-on-the-street interviews. We do topic reporting. We do our famous holiday special, where we do a fun broadcast relating around the holidays. We do an episode with Mr. Schenker once a month called Top Talk, where two students or one student get to sit down and ask Mr. Schenker about a topic of importance to the student body, and he'll come in and sit with students and go over and explain anything students are interested in. In broadcast, we use either Adobe Premiere or Final Cut, so you'll get your editing experience in that way. We also promote our work on our YouTube, but have our own website at newswestlake.weebly.com. And I encourage you to take a look at that website, and you will see there are 5 years of specific broadcast type projects that are up on that website. The last class I'm going to talk to you about is Design Principles for Engineering. Design Principles for Engineering is a co-requisite for Principles of Engineering. And what that means, in the fall, you take Engineering 1, and in the spring, you take Design Principles. And in engineering, we cover what is engineering, we cover programming, we cover CAD drawing, architecture, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering. We'll do 3D modeling and printing. We have a laser cutter. I have 2 3D printers in the Media Lab as well. We have Engineering 1, which you can take after having completed 21st Century Design or Studio Art. If you take 21st Century Design, you're more lined up to complete work in this class. It's a collaborative class. We put you in teams. No engineer works alone. If you have any questions or want to check out the Media Lab, I encourage you to do so. Would love to hear from you. You can email me if you have questions.
Okay. So
who teaches photos usually?
Usually that's me.
And Miss Abate.
And Miss Abate. So
not me.
Right. So the way that the department really works, I feel like the best way to describe our department is me and Miss Frawley teach the freshman courses, or mainly the foundational courses.
Come say
and
hello.
then in addition to that, I teach, and along with Miss Abate, we're both media teachers, meaning that we're teaching more in the computer base. We're teaching photography, video. That's where me and Miss Abate's specialty really is. And Miss Frawley and Miss Papazian are much more fine art. So they are going to teach fashion. They're going to teach drawing and painting, and the AP courses along with the ceramics. So that's like the best way to describe us. Really, or where you might find our teaching. So photo design 1, 2, and 3. So it actually goes up to 4 and 5. 3, 4, and 5 are independent studies. And a lot of times we now push those students to take AP so they could get that AP credit. So one thing that it's really important to learn about in level 1, you're really learning about photography and really figuring out how to take the best photos. So I know we could all take photos now using our cell phone. So we talk a lot about composition, and then also how to dial that back and how to take successful photos using different parts of the camera. So
Miss Morse is a photographer herself.
Yes,
so
I am.
She's got that knowledge, like I said, and I know Miss Abate does as well.
Yeah.
So.
Me and Miss Abate, one thing that we really do like to do is we like to show off a lot of work, because I do think it is very relevant as well. So these are some photo students' work from various years. We also have a dark room, so that's a really fun thing. We process our own film, and we develop our own film, which is something that we do a nice variety between darkroom and digital, just so that you have a nice variety and knowledge.
So the nice thing also about that, what I notice is when I pop in and out, is that the kids, once everybody starts learning, there's a sense of autonomy where you can go and take it as far as you want. There's a sense of freedom once you have that understanding and the underlying structure. So kids enjoy that sense of freedom and taking their foundational skills and seeing what they can do with it. And it's amazing.
I agree. All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Frawley.
Sure.
All right. So let's do ceramics. We'll kind of go back and forth between our media arts and our fine arts.
Okay, so I think we might want to, in a way, link up ceramics with sculpture.
Yes.
While we're at two different things, but Miss Papazian teaches ceramics, and absolutely incredible. I mean, when we have an art show, it really is overwhelming to see everything come together. And like I said, all 4 art teachers have different strengths, and it's just really nice to see these strengths happen, but it's coming from you, so we're just laying it out for you, but where do you take it? So so she does a wonderful job. They're down there, they're doing hand building. They're not doing using the wheel. So if you think about the wheel, we think of ceramics, we think of the wheel.
I think upper class, right?
Maybe independent study, but for the main, for the majority of students, it's hand building, coil building. Here's lidded boxes, making things believable with glazes and textures and patterns.
Yeah, a lot of emphasis on the glazing and the finishes. So this is a beautiful example where Valentina is really looking at an underglaze, and she has a more traditional glaze on like the peas to really show the shine up. So it's a really nice course where you're almost learning about how to paint on ceramics. Right.
And learning that process is fun. And when it gets to the point where it's ready to go in the kiln to fire it, and you start adding the paint or the glazes to it, look at all the different
finishes
or, that come out of it. And that's all technique that's learned.
Yeah.
Okay. So it goes in a kiln. It's not just air dry. This is fired. And it's just amazing.
Fantastic. And also, if you like working with your hands, this is definitely a really great course for you too. This is probably one of the only courses that the arts really offers that you are working so much with your hands versus, computers or pencils.
Right. It's like Christmas morning when they come out of it. When you open that kiln up and the glazes, it's
in college, that was like one of my favorite things. All right, so let's do fashion design.
Let's do it. That's me, guys. Fashion design. Though I don't know if this is the most fashionable sweater I have on, but anyway, it's nice.
I like it. It's a little
nice
over the shoulder.
Anyway, I try to preach what I teach. Okay, fashion design. So this is really first we talk about our personal styles. We start off. Who do we know better than ourselves, right? So what's our personal style? What do how would people portray you? Just by seeing what you're wearing. And sometimes that's the first judgment people might make. Not that we care about their judgment, but what is it that we're trying to convey about ourselves to others through our fashions? So we talk about personal style. We do fashion illustration. We
do drawing. I feel like it's important to emphasize that this is a course where you're not only creating you're not only creating pieces and putting looks together, but you're also drawing.
Right. So fashion illustration, where you're making it look three-dimensional as well. How do you use marker and color pencil to make something look like it's three-dimensional, not just flat? So there's a way to do that, as you see in some of the illustrations. We do pattern design. How do you put a pattern on a garment? How do you come up with a repeating pattern? To visual merchandising, where you're pretending, here are these guys, this is like they're having their own store. They come up with the name of their own store, where it's located, the whole thing, who their clients are, and their whole look. What's the window look like? Mm-hmm. How do you catch somebody's attention in like 3 to 5 seconds as they pass by?
So cute with
store?
The watering cans.
Oh yeah. So that's the idea. This is individual and group work. We just did duct tape. We didn't do prom dresses because of the season, but we did winter formal duct tape dresses. So that was kind of teamwork. Yep. So that's the kind of thing. Aprons, hand sewing a little bit, but a lot of illustration.
Super fun too. We are.
What Abate do we?
I think we got to everything except AP and pre-AP.
Oh.
So this is the.
Creme de la creme.
This is where it ends, right? So this is.
Oh, did we talk about drawing and painting?
Oh no, we didn't talk about drawing and painting. Gosh. Hold on, we got to do drawing and painting because this also is a good sequence. Oh. I'm gonna let you do drawing and painting because you have taught it.
I have taught it. But mostly Miss Papazian teaches that.
Yes,
and it's incredible because again, strengths in the fine art she has, and she's really great at conveying. How to go about really looking at something and drawing it. So like, even though it might initially start as something very foundational, once you get those foundational skills down, then you can go in and bring your personal style, your personal hand, and really go into your interest, which leads to the pre-AP and AP. But we're talking about like looking at a still life, seeing the lights and the darks, knowing how to really mix paints, knowing how to use those materials at the next level. So if you look at some of these, how do you show a foreground, middle ground, background in these examples?
And value. And color theory. So this is a course that, I feel like it is really a next level to a studio art. However, if you took 21st century, you also can definitely take that. But there's a wide range of materials, but you're really focusing on not only drawing, but really how to use these materials successfully and really getting your images across.
Yeah, your skills from gridded drawings that you just saw. I think a gridded drawing.
I think there's one over here.
Yeah. So how do you create that value to make it look believable? Mm-hmm. Okay. So how do you do that? And that's taught there.
All right. So then we get to pre-AP and AP.
Creme de la creme. We're
back to it. Okay. So pre-AP is also a full year course. So this is what you need to take in order to be eligible for AP. Just like any AP that is in the district, whether it's U.S. history or AP English, you're going to get the equivalent of a college credit. It is not an exam, but instead you submit a portfolio. So the portfolio is now called a creative investigation, and you are essentially coming up with a topic, and you're showing that topic in a lot of different creative manners, whether it's different materials, whether it's different viewpoints. and it really grows. That's the really beautiful thing of where you start to where you finish. Really just like showing that growth of your skills and also of your, I feel like, intellect, right? Like you have to really think about how you are showing these.
I think it's like
these images in like different ways.
But you're bringing in your own voice. Okay, that's the difference. I think you're taking that understanding and then saying, okay, how do I use all these skills, like this person was saying, and take it to a direction that you're like, wow, this really interests me. How can I dig deeper and deeper and deeper? Let's not just stop at the surface. Let's take our thinking to the next step. This was one student we're still in touch with, guys. She graduated college. She's now an art teacher. But this is where it starts. She saw interest, Julianne, saw some success and really went with it. But she's an art teacher right now, that last artwork we saw. So, bringing in your own voice is the fun part. You do all that foundational stuff before and you get to this pre-AP and AP and then you let it go and you just say, wow.
Yep.
Look, I'm doing what I really like to do. My ideas on paper in my own way.
Now, AP Arts also, for the most part, is in drawing in 2D design, drawing and painting. However, if you're someone who really excels in digital design or in photography, you can also go into pre-AP and AP and use those skills and have a portfolio and submit digital portfolio that is photography or digital design. So
it takes grit, though. You can't just show up and expect to be, I like to draw.
Just like any AP, you study and you read and you work really hard. Yep, exactly.
You got to do the work, but the end game is just tenfold. Is that what we say? It's really something, and that's Miss Papazian on this one. She teaches the highest level courses here at Westlake High School.
So that's pretty much all of our courses. I think we got everything. There's a lot of other things on this website. We have some like videos that are nice about our about the arts that some students have made. There's tons of more videos on here. All the clubs related to the arts. You could even submit your own work. We have some alumni that have been doing really, really well. I need to update this. We should put some more people on there. So I hope that is helpful. If you guys have, here's our art show from last year, our digital art show. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of the art teachers or your guidance counselors. Feel free to use this website. We will link it.
The only thing that we want to get a message across, right?
Sign up for art
is that. Make sure you watch this video. Make sure you take it seriously before you head to guidance to do your schedule.
Yes, I would recommend.
You want to know what you need. Talk to your teacher and see what they recommend for you.
Yes, we're gonna make, or at least me and Miss Frawley are gonna try to spend some time this week making recommendations. And Miss Frawley's getting a hat. I also would recommend, putting in at least 2 art classes, whether it's a photo design, for example, 1 and 2, or a drawing and painting, and then a ceramics. Miss Frawley's literally climbing up you could borrow this hat. She's literally climbing up my back of my room. So come up with at least 2 classes to sign up for. Because depending on what the schedule looks like, 1 might fit or 2 might fit, and you need some variety. So
there was a guitar up there and I had the sombrero. I couldn't reach it.
So teamwork on 3. All right. Hope to see you guys all next year.
Yeah. See you soon.